Hey, we're live. What is going on? Welcome back to Thursday night. Top baits for Lake Fork bass fishing. We're going to tell you what's going down, how we're going to go about it. Now, I'm going to tell you the best baits for you guys to go fish. I'm also going to tell you a little story about what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something totally different tomorrow. I'm kind of going to play my own little favorite game. When you guys get in here tonight, go ahead, drop a thumbs up if you enjoy these Thursday night live streams that we do every single week, man. We've had these things going for several years now. And let me know if you guys are enjoying them by hitting those thumbs up. Also, drop a comment. Let me know who's here. I see a couple of you guys popping comments in there now. Southeast Bassin, Kevin Jones, Casey and Gaby, Blake Crutcher. Several of you guys starting to pop in here now. Y'all drop me a comment. We'll say some hellos and how you doing. Bassmasters is come and gone. We moved it past that a little bit. I'm starting a little late. You're right. I was starting a little late tonight. Sidetrack. Let's chase the squirrel real quick. So Netflix went ahead and put Chappelle's Show on Netflix. Let me go on and tell you, that got your boy a little bit tonight. It got me. Like, I saw Chappelle's Show on Netflix. I was like, no way. And I started watching them, and I kind of forgot about what time it was. Went and did soccer practice this evening. Got home from soccer practice, ate dinner, turned Chappelle's Show on when I saw it was on Netflix. And I kind of got lost in a little bit of Chappelle memory lane, whatever, dude. That's one of my favorite shows. If you don't like Chappelle's Show, I don't really know what to say about you. That's one of the funniest pieces of comedy ever made. And how, it's funny to look back on Chappelle's Show now because, like, how ballsy was Dave Chappelle to go with the Clayton Bigsby black-white supremacist skit in the first episode of the show ever. I totally forgot that was the first episode until I watched it tonight. So funny. So funny. Anyways, yeah, Chappelle's Show is hilarious. See a couple of you guys. There's a lot more of you guys dropping in here, dropping comments now. We got Ray Lowe, John Denny, Big John, JD, Tony Maynard, Josh Stroop, Chase Clark, Bustin' Outdoors, K Prince, Jeff Bonner, Michael Menon, W.M. Holland, Mel Moyle, Brian White. Awesome, man. Hey, if I missed your name, I apologize. So many of you guys jumping in here. I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. So, Bassmasters Elite Series coming off from Lake Fork. They got a Louisville tournament coming up. Want to give a shout out and best of wishes to my boy Brandon Diller. Brandon Diller was on the channel with us back in the beginning of the year. What was funny is, in January, Brandon Diller had filmed an episode with us, and I kind of started the show going, in every area, there are these guys that nobody really knows about, the general public doesn't really know about, and they're like, for real. Like, they're so good at bass fishing. Brandon Dillard is one of those guys, and he is got fishing the Bassmaster Open on Lake Louisville that's coming up. And, man, I got my fingers crossed. You know, you never know in tournament bass fishing. Anything can go wrong for anybody. Lee Lively's shown us that a couple times at Lake Fork now, where he was kind of the odds-on favorite. Now, he had a great tournament this last week, but the last year he had, you know, a terrible tournament by his standards. And it's hard to win on your home lake in a big event. That's been proven over the years. But that Bassmaster Open on Lake Louisville, there's a guy named Brandon Dillard that I don't care what your name is, you better watch out for him. He can hang with all of them. So we'll see. Good luck to Dillard, man. We're pulling for him for sure. But Bassmasters coming on, and it was a great learning opportunity. Great learning opportunity at Bassmasters. And we got to see those guys fish a lot of docks. There are a lot of fish in between depths like we talked about in those videos. And we got to see, of course, Patrick Walters taking advantage of those fish suspending in main lake trees. It gave me a lot of ideas of different areas to fish and different techniques. Of course, we had already kind of been leaning towards the jerkbait, throwing a jerkbait a little bit, but boy, he really put on a show with a jerkbait in different types of jerkbaits. But it made me be more adamant about throwing the jerkbait this week. And the jerkbait has been my best bait in my boat this week. It really has. So, that being said, hey, Lake Fork specifically, man, it's fishing tough. I mean, we saw that. Like, there was like 40 of the best fishermen on earth that can't catch 10 pounds a day of keepers on fork. That's really tough. It's not just about Patrick Walters catching 100 pounds. Like, you got to think, there's a whole lot of guys that fish that tournament that are way better than us that couldn't catch 10 pounds a day. Lake Fork is fishing tough. Don't make any mistake about it. That being said, it's still Lake Fork, and there are those days when you just pull up, you catch a couple good ones, and all of a sudden you got a good bag of fish. That's Lake Fork. That's what happens. It's why it's always worth going there, because of the big fish factor. But the jerkbaits, been the best bait for me this week, and I'll show you guys the jerk bait that I've been using. And we've had a little bit of mixture of some clouds, some sun on most days. And one day we had was actually really cloudy. I think Tuesday was pretty cloudy, but this jerk bait right here, and I'm goodness, I think that's 4K shad. I can't remember the name of that. But I like this jerk bait right here because it's a solid color, right? So when it's cloudy, the solid color, the solid white on the bottom, it's not translucent, shows up well in the clouds. But those little reflective scales, when the sun comes out, I like translucent or chrome type baits. Well, those little reflective scales get that good flash that I like when the sun's high. So we've got that going with the jerk bait. That's the color I'm using. Another bait that I'm using on those same type of suspended fish around timber. Hey, and another place these fish are suspending that didn't really get shown in that tournament a whole lot, but it is going on, is bridges. Bridge pilings and bridge corners and aprons. And I keep seeing Panoptics comments, Garmin comments, LiveScope. It would obviously, if you were as efficient as Patrick Walters at throwing it, looking at fish on there, it would help. But you can go target these fish and still have a chance to catch some of them without using the live scope right now. Granted, if you were as good as Patrick Walters at looking at the live scope and making the right cast and all that, you'd definitely catch them better. He showed us that. But you can still get some of these bites without that technology. So the other bait that I'm using a lot on these suspended main lake fish is an Alabama rig. I'm using an 8-bladed Alabama rig. You might say, well, dude, I don't want to throw an Alabama rig around timber. Let me show you the deal. So you just take, these are weightless, weedless hooks, right? And I just skin hook them back into the plastic. That one's popped out, but I would skin hook it when I was throwing it. So I'm rigging weightless hooks, weightless, weedless hooks on the Alabama rig, except for the middle one. On the middle one, I use a little bit of a belly weight on the middle one just to give the Alabama rig a little bit of weight. Rigging it like that, this Alabama rig sinks really, really slow, okay? And I can reel it very slow through those trees and keep it up around those suspended fish. It will hang up some, but as long as you don't pull on it too hard when it's in a tree, you can usually just kind of go over there and pop it out, and it comes right out. I haven't lost any Alabama rigs this week doing this. Zero. And of course, around the bridges, I'm actually throwing Alabama rigs with open jig hooks around the bridges. But for the timber, you can get away with throwing Alabama rigs in timber if you rig them like that right there. What A-rig is this? This is the Smash Tech 8-blade Alabama rig. Smash Tech makes these Alabama rigs, and this is the one with 8 blades. He also makes them with 4 blades, and I believe he makes some with no blades. All right, now, so those are kind of the baits that I'm using for those more main lake suspended fish. Those are the baits that I'm using to target them. I'm also fishing around some docks. And when I'm fishing around docks, I'm using a square bill quite a bit. And the square bill that I'm using, and the reason I'm using this square bill is it gets to the right depth. I can actually tag bottom with this square bill. About 6 foot of water is about the max depth I can hit it in. But this is the 6 Sense Mini Mag 3.8. Great little square bill. It's done a good job deflecting off cover for me all week, and it does get down deeper than most square bills. So I'm getting down about 6 feet with that one. This is exactly like the square bill that Rick Clunn caught most of his 30-pound bag on day 1 of the tournament. So really like that square bill right there. The other baits I'm using around docks are a couple of dragon baits. You know, and there was a lot of guys in that tournament were using the chatterbait around docks. Man, they were throwing like a white chatterbait like this, a 3/8 or half-ounce white chatterbait like this around docks. I just have not been able to get them to really bite the white chatterbait around the docks. I've tried it after I saw those guys getting bit on it. It hasn't been working for me, but that square bill's better. And then the other thing that I'm using a lot of days, I'm having to slow down around them, and a finesse jig, just a brown and green finesse jig, 1/4 ounce ball head finesse jig from 6 Sense Fishing. Got a great beefy hook in it. And then the other bait too that I'm slowing down with is a 1/4 ounce shaky head with a green pumpkin 6.3 inch divine shaky head worm. Just a 6.5, 7 inch straight tail green pumpkin worm on a 1/4 ounce shaky head. Hey, that is a Lake Fork staple for me in the fall. I've used that bait for years in the fall. I don't know what it is. There's something about a green pumpkin straight tail worm in the fall in Lake Fork. It'll get you bit. It'll get you bit. So that's the baits that I'm using. That's how I'm attacking them right now. In fact, even when I do mark fish offshore, if I mark fish offshore, I'm looking out there a little bit. Every once in a while, if we mark some out there, I will throw the Alabama rig and the green pumpkin shaky head, 1/4 ounce finesse shaky head. Not the big one that we normally throw in the summer, but actually finesse fishing them with that shaky head. Had a fair day today, wasn't too horribly tough. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It can be good. Like, it is fall. And for the record, other lakes are fishing real good. Like, there's several of the lakes where you're getting we've had some really stable weather for fall here the last couple weeks. And there's a lot of the lakes where the fishing is pretty darn good right now. So it is capable of having great days on Fork right now. It's also capable to struggle, as we just saw with all the big boys. Can I describe the difference in how the Bassmaster pros break down and fish the lake versus how you need to do it as a guide? Oh, God, yeah. I can try to describe it. It's hard to describe, but, man, I'm going to tell you, guiding and fishing are two different things. There's no doubt about it. I can't go out there with a live scope and point the front nose of my boat into the wind at one tree and say, all right, customer, throw that Alabama rig over there by that tree and roll it by there real slow and twitch it when I tell you to twitch it and pause it when I tell you to. Like, it just doesn't work like that. I can't get that guy to work a jerkbait the way Patrick Walters can and pause it at the right moment and all that. I have to be able to kind of turn my boat sideways, leave room for both guys to throw at targets, and tell them, okay, here's an area of targets so we can fish. Now, we are going to areas of standing timber where I'm graphing fish in the trees and I'm seeing fish similar set up to the way the Patrick Walters fish were, and then we're spot locking outside of them or moving around outside of them. We're throwing that weedless Alabama rig, we're throwing that jerkbait. I'm just telling them, hey, get close to the trees but hit the lanes in between them, and that's what they're doing. It's just not the same. I can't roll in there. Like, a pro can go into an area and say, okay, here's fish in there. And he can pull in there and go, all right, that's the tree that looks the best. I graphed fish on that tree right there. I'm going to throw at that tree, even if he doesn't have live scope. I'm going to throw at that tree till one bites. And he can sit there and make cast. Even dock fishing, a lot of the pros that were dock fishing, they were having success, say, when they found everything looked right, the right depth, the right cover under the dock, all the combination of stuff they were looking for, they would make many repetitive casts to the same spot on the same dock to trigger a bite. Well, dock fishing's tough with customers. Let me tell you, it is. You kind of have to curtail your patterns to what you can do. It's one of the reasons we probably haven't been catching on chatterbait around there, because I can't have customers go make the same cast around a brush pile under a dock with a chatterbait all day. I'll lose $800 in chatterbaits every day. And as a guide, you have to read your customers that first hour of the morning and kind of sense what they're capable of and try to find fish that they can catch. That's the challenging part of being a fishing guide. It's not about, hey, can I go catch them? I would probably fish a lake a lot differently if it was just me fishing. It's just a different animal altogether. What's up, Gary Payne? What is the latest on Lake Welsh? Not cold enough yet? No, Lake Welsh is fishing good. Lake Welsh is fishing real good right now. How do I store my hollow bodies? I actually have my hollow bodies in a plastic box. A box, and I got a bunch of them laying around. But one of these type of boxes like this is what I have hollow bodies in. One good thing about them Smash Tech plastics, he doesn't use salt in those swim baits and they don't really deform. When you were filming Patrick Walters, you said you turned off your electronics. Does that affect the fish that much? What depth does it not bother them? I don't know that it does bother them. I just know it makes noise. It makes a lot more noise than you think. When you got your boat, like when my boat's in the garage, turn your sonar on one time and get it going, get your sonar running, and go stick your ear up next to your trolling motor head or your transducer, wherever your transducer's mounted, and listen to it. It's loud. It's click, 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 click. It's loud. And so when I'm out there spectating and I'm not fishing, I turn all my transducers off because I don't want to make any noise. Like, I'm going to turn my trolling motor down, make as little noise as I can with my trolling motor. That's it. I'm turning all my other stuff off. I don't want to make any noise at all. I don't know that, especially as far away as I was with my sonar affected, probably not. But, man, sound carries underwater tremendously. It's crazy how far away you can hear something underwater. So I just make sure that I play it safe, and I try to leave as little noise footprint on the water as I can when I'm out there watching those guys. That's just for me. That's just for me. Is Brandon Diller fishing most of the opens in 2020 or primarily just Louisville? If he is, then how is he doing points wise? I don't think he's fished any of them. I think he's just kind of jackpotting the Louisville tournament. it's a shot. He's a local guy. He's got a local job. He doesn't chase big time trails or anything like that. But I think he's just jackpotting the Louisville Open because it's an opportunity to, if he wins it, to make the Bassmaster Classic from nowhere. So how cool would that be if Diller went out there, won the Louisville Bassmaster Open, and got qualified and fished the Bassmaster Classic? Oh yeah, and it's on Ray Roberts right there next to his house. So I think he's just trying to jackpot it and see what happens. Roll the dice a little bit. Am I the only woman that watches? You might be, Sharon Davidson. We sure appreciate you on here. What's up, Ron Foreman? Do I think some of the electronics available today will ever get banned in some tournaments? I don't think they will, and for me personally, my opinion, I sincerely hope that they don't. Hey, if I missed one of your questions, drop it in again. I kind of think I've caught up to the questions, but if I haven't, they're way, way far up in the feed there on the comments. So if you have questions that I missed, please ask it again. I would certainly be happy to try and answer it. I guess now would be a great time for me to tell y'all what my deal is tomorrow, because I'm kind of excited about what I'm going to go do tomorrow. So I'm going to kind of roll the dice tomorrow. So I haven't gotten to film yet this week. I'm going to film tomorrow. So the video that you guys see on Monday will be filmed tomorrow. And I'm actually going to go do the Swimbait challenge. I'm going to go throw nothing but swim baits. I'm going to go, not Lake Fork, I'm going to go to a different lake that I know that, honestly, I've never really thrown swim baits on this lake. Just a couple times I've been there, it really, really, really looks like a good swim bait lake. It's got vegetation, it's got pretty clear water. It just looks like a good swim bait lake. So I'm going to go there tomorrow, and I'm going to have all different swim. I'm going full Heath Taylor mode, full send. I'm going to have all swim baits tied on, and we're going to see how big of a bag I can catch throwing swim baits under some pretty fair fall conditions. I mean, the weather conditions are pretty good. I don't know what the moon face is right now. Hopefully it's not too bad. But right now, it's pretty fair fall conditions, and I'm going to go see if I can catch a big old bag. Like, hopefully we're going to catch like a 30-pounder bigger bag tomorrow. Me and old Skeeter Bug, just me and Skeeter Bug, going to take a little road trip and go see if we can catch a bunch of fish on some big baits tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think of that idea. If you're excited to watch that video, all big swim baits. I know Andrew Alphabet, if he's in here watching, which he normally is, Andrew Alphabet's got that crazy last name that I can't say with all the letters of the alphabet in it. He'll be excited about this video because he's always asking me about big baits. I love this. Bob Davis said, just did the math. $800 in chatterbaits on a guide trip means 53 of them if they're all jackhammers. Well, that's all I throw is jackhammers these days. And 53 chatterbaits lost in a day is not undoable for 3 dudes throwing up under Doc Mex brush piles all day. I can just tell you that. Some of the customers I've had, that's a reasonable number. It's not too crazy. Is the convict going to make an appearance? I heard you say grass. Yeah, so I'm going to have all of them tied on, and I'm just going to kind of move around this lake and kind of freewheel it, and I'm going to throw whatever swim bait fits that area the best. I'm going to have hard baits tied on, glide baits, multi-jointed hard baits. I'm going to have big weedless baits, medium weedless baits, hollow bellies, paddle tails, gizzard shads, line throughs. I'm going to tie on all my different swim baits, and whatever that area dictates that bait fishes at the best, that's what I'm going to throw. Now, I'll probably start out with some of the smaller glides and the medium-sized swim baits at first just to see if I can get a few bites. And then once we got some confidence in what we're getting bit on, we'll upsize and see if we can get bigger bites. That's kind of my game plan for tomorrow. So, hope it pays off. Hope it pays off. If it doesn't, you guys are going to have a boring video on Monday. So, hopefully it pays off. That's the thing about swim bait fishing, man. You never know. You never know. The Solunar table says tomorrow's one of the best days of the month, 9 till noon. Great. Hopefully it works out. Even the $150 glide bait from Georgia, love to see. Yes, I will be throwing it at some point. I won't throw it right off the bat, but once I get a few bites and I can kind of start upsizing, if I can get them to look at a glide bait at all tomorrow, I will, without a doubt, be throwing this one right here. I'm going to sling that bait right there around a little bit tomorrow. Y'all want to see me fish with that thing right there? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that thing. Look at it. It's beautiful. I might sleep with it under my pillow tonight, then put some hooks on it in the morning and go see if I can catch one on it. When you interviewed Swindle, was that a coming to Jesus moment? Well, no. It's not a come to Jesus moment. Come to Jesus moment refers to like when your dad like gives you like the biggest butt chewing or your football coach of all time. For me, that's what I've always thought of it as. No, I mean, interviewing Swindle was really cool. I've been fortunate to get to be around some of those guys. To me, Hackney was a bigger deal. Hackney's like my favorite one. Swindle was a big deal. He's a big deal in the sport, and he's funny. He's funny. You know, that's the thing about Swindle is he is obviously one of the best bass fishermen that we've had of our generation. He's won Angler of the Year, but he's not like the most dominant fisherman. He's everybody's favorite because he's so dang funny on stage. But if you go back and look at his actual statistics, he's not the best guy fishing-wise on tour. He's just not. Like, there's actually several guys out there that have better fishing statistics than Swindle does. But everybody loves him, and he's made a living with everybody loving it. I don't want to take anything away from the guy's fisherman. Like I said, he's won Anglers of the Year. Like, he's legit. He's big time. He is big time, but he doesn't win a lot of tournaments. Big John says you need a cameraman. I would love to have. You know what? I don't even care if I don't really care if I get a cameraman. I would love to have somebody that did my editing for me. That editing takes me forever because I'm like slow old country bumpkin on them computers, and the editing process always takes me way too long. I do wish I was one of these big time fancy YouTubers. The only time I wish I was a big time fancy YouTuber was when it comes to editing, because all these guys I know that have made it big on YouTube, like all the Google Squad guys and Milliken and all these guys, they all have their own editors. And I'm like, man, that would be awesome. I love the fishing and the filming and all that stuff, the documenting. I just hate the editing part. So it'd be great to have one of those guys. Andrew Alphabet says that new hard multi-jointed smash tech bait has my eye twitching. I think you mean 6 Cents, the new hard bait from 6 Cents that's coming out. Smash Tech has got a new glide bait coming. It's going to be actually kind of similar to this. Keep it realistic, just like you. Yeah, I definitely. We keeps it real around here. We don't stress no stories, man. I bet Swindle don't have a Tupac shirt. I don't know, man. Swindle might actually have a Tupac shirt. Like, he might. He might. Swindle's got a little gangsta in him. He is a great guy, and he is one of the coolest guys you will ever meet. There's no doubt about it. He is really cool. What up, Timmy Rhodes in the house? That's what you meant, the glide bait. Yeah, the Smash Tech glide bait. Yeah, it's going to be a banger, dude. I've seen it. I've seen the prototype faces of it. I've seen it behind the scenes. I just put my hands on it last week, or earlier this week. Monday I was around it. Saw some of them. It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. He's working hard on it. Will Heath let me sneak out and throw his prototype glide bait tomorrow? No, I'm not going to throw the prototype glide bait. I am going to throw the prototype multi-jointed bait from 6 Cents. And listen, guys, the glide bait deal is a deal they may not be on. We may be throwing soft baits all day tomorrow. This lake does have vegetation, so I may be throwing soft paddle tails on this little swim bait outing tomorrow. But they might bite a glide bait. And if they do, I'll throw it. And I'll throw the flow gliders, I'll throw the Smash Tech glide, and I'll throw this glide bait right here. And I'll also throw the multi-jointed 6 Cents bait if the prototype, if they'll bite the hard baits, if they'll follow them and commit to them. So we're going swim baiting tomorrow. We're going to see how it works out. Been a long time. It's something that I wanted to do for a while now, is go out, and I wanted to have a day where I could just commit to big baits, because to catch them on big swim baits, you really got to commit to them. And that's just something I don't get to do. Like every day I go out, there's pressure on me to put customers on boat, or there's pressure on me to put fish in a boat for camera. And tomorrow we're throwing all that out the window. Hey, if we go out and we stink and we don't catch them, we're still going to explain to you what I'm thinking and why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it. And we're going to a lake that, man, I haven't touched this lake since like it was either January or early March the last time I was there. I have no idea. I haven't talked to anybody that's been on this lake. We are taking a shot in the dark, going to a pond that I feel like sets up good for swim baiting, that I know has some big fish in it. I know it has some vegetation and clear water, so it sets up good for swim baiting. And we're just going to go there and wind a swim bait around all day and see how it works out. Similar to what you guys might do on a weekend. Man, we might go out there and fall on our face, but it's swim baiting, so we might go out there and whack them, you know. Send me some of the Table Rock swim jig. Casey says I have them all. I might have them all. I've got a bunch of them. I know that. And no, you can't have any of them. Is there a company that tows stranded boats out there on the fork? I don't. Not that I know of. Usually just somebody comes along and tows you. I've had people. I've had to be towed in once. I've towed several people in myself over the years. We usually just take care of our own out there. Can you still custom order colors at Smash Tech? Absolutely. Send them an email through the Smash Tech website. Big John says, I got bolt cutters and I know a lake it will work on. Big John, I hear you, Han, and I know you're talking about Lake Monticello. Unfortunately, the Smash Tech guy we keep talking about, yeah, he's the game warden in that county, and I'm sponsored by him, so I don't know that I can really get away with that, dog. Like, I don't think that's going to work out too well for me personally. But don't think that I haven't had that thought. I'm not above breaking laws that I think are stupid, and I think Monticello being shut down is pretty stupid, but unfortunately, got to take care of my boy Heath. Do I have a Garmin live scope yet? No, I don't. Not yet. Not yet. Slacker. Slacker. Man, I ain't rich like some of y'all, man. I'm just a poor old fishing guy. I don't make any money. Saw them kids. I got them kids be eating up all that money. That's what it is. I'm gonna have. I'll tell you this. I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to do the right thing. I am going to take. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm going to take my time and make the right decision. But Lowrance, the rumor is Lowrance has got something coming that is comparable. It is as good. Some are even trying to say it's going to be even better. I don't know how much I believe that. But I am going to try and hold the line and see what that is before I make my decision. That way I don't bail on a Lowrance situation that I have a good deal on for no reason. And then a month later the product drops and I could have just stayed with them. This is part of the business that's kind of behind the scenes that you guys don't get to necessarily see. I've got to deal with Lowrance, right? Like I'm on the Lowrance Pro staff, whatever. I get a deal from Lowrance on grass and trolling motor. And I'm going to continue to run 2 Lowrance units and a Lowrance trolling motor. All I'm going to do is add one. Now, if Lowrance comes out with comparable technology, I can keep my Lowrance deal. But if I start running a Garmin up there beside my Lowrance, I'm going to lose my deal with Lowrance. So, word is that Lowrance is right on the verge, and I got to imagine after this week they're going to push it out as fast as possible. What's going on? I want to take a pause, take a breath, and see how that works out. Man, I've been fishing without live scope for a long time. And I'm not saying that it's definitely putting me at a disadvantage right now, but I want to make at the end of the day, I got to make the right decision. So I will have something like that by the time we get around the corner of the year here. I'll have something. It'll either be a new one that's just as good, or it'll be the Garmin. Who is the most famous person, not counting a country singer friend, who has been in your boat all year this year? I haven't had a lot of famous guys this year. I've had a couple over the years. one that we did videos with was, we did a video with was Brian Robinson. He was like a 10 or 11 year NFL player, won a national championship at University of Texas, was a Pro Bowler in the NFL, defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. But he's really into fishing and stuff, so that was a natural fit. And he's good buddies. He's like real good buddies with a mutual friend, Cedar Fowler, is a buddy of mine that's real good buddies with Brian. I tell you, there's some of these, like, sure enough, like celebrity type people that don't want you taking pictures with them, and they don't want you telling people they were out there. There's stuff like that show up. Now, I haven't had a whole lot of that. I've had one event where somebody that was pretty darn famous came and fished with me, but we weren't supposed to take pictures, and so we didn't take any pictures, and I'm not supposed to tell anybody, so it's just one of them deals. So. I haven't had anybody big name. I think, like, man, we've had a lot of local traffic this year. Like, I've had a lot of DFW. Now, I've gotten some Louisiana, Oklahoma, and here lately I've gotten some guys from out of state lately. But normally we get, like, in the springtime, it's like all out of state people. A few DFW sprinkled in, but mostly out of state people. Well, I think this year with everything that went on, people just didn't travel. So I had mostly DFW, Texas people in the boat most of the spring and summer this year. So probably why we didn't get any notable type people. Does what? Yeah. So does a famous person book the trip? Well, I've only had one famous person. Does a famous person book the trip directly, or does one of their people calls you? You don't talk to them until they show up, and you're like, you just got to be professional. Hello, how you doing, sir? And go. And you go fish. And then once you're on the boat, it's like just a normal deal. They're just normal people, and it's cool. So. Most famous person. Probably the most famous person I can tell you about these days would probably be freaking one of the dang Googans. Them suckers. They just keep getting more subscribers, and it seems like the less they fish, the more subscribers they get. I mean, hell, Lunkers TV's running around chasing Instagram models now. I don't even know what's going on with that guy. He doesn't even fish anymore. Famous people are just people. Yeah, that's 100% true. All the famous people that I've been around in my lifetime through whatever reasons, man, when you get them away from a crowd of people, and you just get in a fishing boat, you're one-on-one with them. When you get them in those situations, they're just a normal person. They always seem to be really, really guarded. Like, they don't know kind of how much they can be themselves around you, and then the more they spend time around you, the more comfortable they get. They're just normal people, completely normal people. So. Need some dates in May. Is it still open? Yeah, we got some dates in May open, for sure. For sure. We got some dates in May open. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on another Thursday night. Hope some of these bait suggestions can help y'all catch a few fish. Hey, thank y'all so much. Y'all watched so much of the Bassmaster coverage that we did over the weekend. It seems like y'all really like that. So next time those guys are in town, we'll definitely have to do some more of that. Maybe we'll cover the Classic, Bassmasters Classic in March, hopefully in the same type of fashion. But appreciate you guys doing everything that you guys continue to do to help us build a platform and afford me to live the life that I get to live, which is an awesome one. We're going to go take the big baits out tomorrow, see if we can't wind up a few giants for you guys, and we'll show you how it goes down on Monday. Sunday morning seminar video will be airing. Sunday evening live podcast. I haven't talked to him yet, but as of last weekend, Patrick Walters is supposed to be our guest on our podcast Sunday night. So be sure you tune in Sunday night to our podcast. We'll get to talk with Patrick Walters. We'll be live. You guys can ask him questions while we're live. It should be a great podcast with Patrick Walters joining us. It'll be awesome. So, all right, man. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on your Lake